Let's take a look at what's going on in the world now. Tokyo and Beijing are facing a diplomatic row after an unnamed Japanese diplomat was briefly arrested on Monday for what China called inappropriate activities without explaining further. In response, China's acting ambassador in Tokyo was summoned to the Japanese Foreign Ministry as Japan demanded an apology. Japan accused China of violating the Vienna Convention, which bars the arrest of accredited diplomats in most situations. Meanwhile, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying told reporters on Wednesday that China has made a stern complaint with Japan, urging it to respect China's law, strictly restrain its consular staff in China, and prevent such incidents from happening again. She added that the Japanese diplomat had engaged in activities inconsistent with their capacity in China, while relevant Chinese department conducted proper investigation of the matter. There have been several cases of arrests in the past involving Japanese citizens over allegations including spying. However, it's extremely rare for a case to be brought against diplomats or government officials. A group of American truckers began their cross-country drive from California to Washington, D.C. on Wednesday to protest against COVID-19 restrictions. Inspired by a similar demonstration that paralyzed Ottawa for weeks, more than 24 18-wheelers, along with some 50 pickups and recreational vehicles, began their convoy. Dubbed People's Convoy, the group will take on an 11-day trek to demand an end to COVID-19 vaccine and mask requirements. Meanwhile, preparations are being made in Washington for the arrival of the convoy and other similar protests in the coming days. The Pentagon announced that it had approved 400 National Guard troops to help at traffic posts from Saturday through March 7th. The protest comes despite most U.S. states having already eased many restrictions. In California, where the convoy began, the state lifted universal mask requirements last week, with masks now only required for high-risk areas such as public transit, schools, and healthcare venues. Amid rising tensions between Russia and Ukraine, a number of landmarks throughout the world have been illuminated in Ukrainian colors to show support for the country. These include Berlin's Brandenburg Gate, which was lit in the blue and yellow of the Ukrainian flag. Berlin's state minister said the move is a show of solidarity with the people of Ukraine. Also, over in Paris, the city hall was lit up in the colors of the Ukrainian flag, as the city's mayor and left-wing presidential election candidate Anne Hidalgo was seen showing support. Peruvian archaeologists have unearthed 8 children and 12 adults that may have been sacrificed some 1,200 years ago. The remains were found outside an underground tomb, where archaeologists from Peru's San Marcos University had found an ancient mummy in November. One archaeologist said the children and adults, some mummified and others skeletons, were wrapped in various layers of textiles and were part of an ancient ritual and had likely been sacrificed to go alongside the main mummy. The burial pattern has been seen before, such as at the tomb of the Lord of Sipan, a ruler from 1700 years ago, who was discovered along with children and adults who had been sacrificed to be buried with them. Peru is home to hundreds of archaeological sites of culture that developed before and after the Inca Empire. 이승재, Arirang News.